Hello enthusiasts and welcome to this new episode of Moonwatch.fr. Today, I invite you to discover a hand wound watch, manual, tourbillon watch. An incredible watch that comes from a collaborative project on Kickstarter. This is the Aision Whirlwind. The hand wound watch, manual, Aision Tourbillon is an incredible watch stemming from a collaborative project launched on Kickstarter in 2021. With this watch, the Tourbillon Aision design is not making its first attempt. Indeed, the young brand from Hong Kong has already undertaken a winding project, successfully launched several campaigns on Kickstarter. The watches and John design have made a very good impression in terms of quality and design. Until now, and John design doesn't just fit movements into cases of known shapes. Each of their models is original with a unique and superb dial design, all with very meticulous assembly. Personally, I have always dreamed of owning a watch with a tourbillon movement because I find it incredibly beautiful, but not necessarily having the means to spend several thousand euros on a Swiss tourbillon watch. Well, I turned to this watch, Aision design offered on Kickstarter. So, you can find other Desizi Chinese tourbillons, since it's a Chinese movement used in this watch. You can find other tourbillon watches, for example on AliExpress, but the designs are always very bland. Chinese manufacturers are trying to make something chic, and I find that it doesn't work because as a result, the materials are not noble, they are not beautiful, the finishes are not correct, and that's why I had never bought one. When I came across this Kickstarter project right away, the case and the dial with a particular texture caught my eye. So, without prejudging the reliability of the project, Aision offers a watch with a case, a dial, and hands that are thoughtfully designed and crafted. After a long process of design and prototyping, the Tourbillon collection comes to life with this watch, the ANT01 Tourbillon. Once again, it's important to understand that the Hong Kong brand Aision does not limit itself to simple assembly. And besides, that's what attracts its contributors. In any case, this watch is offered at less than 650 euros. So, this Aision design watch, Tourbillon, less than 650 euros, it has become one of my finest watch acquisitions of the year. In terms of finish, the watch is comparable to an Oris or a Longines. And frankly, this Hong Kong brand has nothing to be ashamed of compared to entry-level Swiss premium brands. So I am very, very happy to be able to present this watch to you, because I think I must be one of the only French speakers who followed the project. Feel free to comment if you followed it or if you ordered one. But well, on the forums, the brand has been quite discreet. Let's now move on to the technical specifications of this Aision Tourbillon. So, this watch was manufactured in only 100 pieces. So we are looking at a production that could be called a limited edition. The watch was produced in 2021. It's more of a men's watch since the case is still 41mm in diameter and 12mm thick. Whether it's the case or the bracelet, they are made of steel. The movement used is the Hangzhou 3408 Tourbillon, which offers a power reserve of 80 hours. The watch is rated water resistant to 50 meters, but obviously it's not a diver's watch, so there's no question of putting it in water. The bezel, very beautifully crafted, is fixed. The glass is sapphire, with an anti-reflective coating. The lug width is in a special format, as it is what we call an integrated bracelet. And obviously, as a complication, we find the tourbillon at 6 o'clock. Let's take a closer look at the case of this ASEAN design tourbillon watch. So, it is made of steel. Très fin steel. The case measures 41mm in diameter and 12mm in thickness. Perfect size, therefore, for a man or even for a woman. The shape of the case is quite similar, quite akin to my Zenith Classic Defy. It's somewhat the same shape. It is brushed. You can see several types of brushing on the case. The case seems to be of excellent quality. However, it scratches quite easily. I changed the strap and without being careful, you see, I nicked a lug, so the steel scratches very easily. Next we find a fixed bezel that contains 8 notches. These 8 notches really give a unique identity to this watch. The machining of the bezel is perfect. The quality is indeed present. The different angles and brushings constantly play with the light without being flashy. On the upper face, there is a vertical brushing, while on the lateral parts, there is more of a polishing. Continuing on, a signed and screwed crown allows for winding the manual winding caliber and setting the time. The winding sensation is very good. Quite good, just like the grip of the crown. The machining work on this case is quite impressive. Once again, we are looking at a watch priced at 650 euros. I was quite impressed and surprised. We are very, very far from a cheap Chinese product. Finally, there is a transparent case back that reveals the winding movement manual, Hangzhou 3408. Several inscriptions are engraved around the case back, including Tourbillon, ASEAN, Hong Kong, Limited, Edition, Water, Resistant, Synth, ATM. And, of course, the edition number limited to 100 pieces. This Aision Tourbillon impressed me not only with the quality of its case and the choice of movement. The dial of this watch is just insane. The hexagonal pyramid pattern used by the dial is unique and has never been used by other dial or watch manufacturers. In any case, I don't know of any that uses this pattern of motifs for the dial. Moreover, depending on the light exposure, the dial gives the illusion of having different patterns. It's really impressive. The dial is really insane. I'm trying to move it so you can see it on camera, even if it's not necessarily easy. In any case, it's quite incredible. Secondly, we find applied indices that mark each hour. It's discrete and the readability is excellent in all circumstances, as these indices are covered with high-quality luminescent materials. This means that the watch will glow for several hours at night, provided it has been previously exposed to a light source, of course. The hands are no exception and are coated with the same luminous material. These hands, by the way, are quite beautifully crafted, they are open-worked, and honestly, they are very, very nice. Now, the Chinese Hangzhou 3408 caliber does not have a second hand, which is why there is only an hour hand and a minute hand. Please note that even the hands were designed by Aision. They have been open-worked. These are not ordinary hands that you can find on 50 different watch models. They are really very well crafted. The hands, like the rest of the watch, it's really very, very good. The open work, I find it very modern in terms of the hands, and it goes well with the gunmetal grey dial. This watch was offered in 5 or 6 different shades, blue, black, grey, green, etc. I chose the color called gunmetal because I think in the sunlight it's the one that highlights the different patterns and motifs of the dial the most. We also find the Asian logo at 12 o'clock and of course the tourbillon at 6 o'clock. To finish, a sapphire crystal protects the dial and the hands. It has an anti-reflective coating that allows you to fully enjoy the beauty of the dial's harmony. So, the Aision Design Tourbillon watch houses the Chinese Hangzhou 3408 movement. This 25 jewel movement offers a power reserve of 80 hours, which, for a manual winding movement, is quite respectable. And it's in line with current trends. We're not dealing with a 2824 with a 40-hour power reserve. So here, 80 hours is more than sufficient. It's a movement that oscillates at 28,800 beats per hour and features a tourbillon complication at 6 o'clock. And by the way, it's right there. The main interest of this caliber is its complication. Tourbillon. I'm showing it to you in the video because I can spend hours watching the tourbillon in motion. I find it simply hypnotizing. So you should know that this movement sells for about 250-300 euros. This places this caliber in the higher range of Chinese calibers. But there is no equivalent in terms of value for money for a movement equipped with such a complication. Obviously, Swiss movements that offer a tourbillon complication will cost several thousand euros. So opinions on this movement are quite mixed. When you search on the internet, there are people who have never had any issues, and there are others who report certain problems. So I want to say, maybe a bit like all movements, personally, it's a little too early for me to give you my opinion, my feelings regarding the reliability, the longevity of this tourbillon movement. Just on my watch, I've had it for a little while, let's say. It is quite reliable, with a deviation observed of about 15 seconds per day. So we are far from Swiss certification, obviously. However, for this type of watch, priced at 650 euros for the tourbillon watch, I find that it's still pretty good, 15 seconds. Honestly, it hasn't shocked me. For now, no issues to report on my model. Obviously, we need to see how it will evolve over time. A small downside, however, regarding this caliber is that it is quite noisy. That is to say, if you place the watch on your bedside table at night, you will hear the ticking. It's quite disturbing, but, well, it's probably due to the mechanism and the tourbillon. So, the Aision Tourbillon watch is mounted on an integrated steel bracelet of very good quality. The links are axe-shaped and fit the wrist perfectly. The very design of the bracelet gives the watch a decidedly sporty chic look. The steel bracelet is comfortable, but it makes the tourbillon watch heavier. The case of barely. The thickness. The case of barely 12 minutes. In thickness, sits well on the wrist, and the watch is comfortable. The double papillon is of good quality, and the brand is engraved on it. After being surprised by the news, the quality of the watch's finish, Aision Tourbillon on its steel bracelet, I appreciated the inclusion of a second provided bracelet. In the box, so a second leather strap, so it must be calf leather. Not of excellent quality, let's not lie to ourselves, it's not a Bretline leather, but I still appreciated the gesture, especially since it allows wearing the watch on a leather strap, given that it's an integrated strap. Changing the strap is not that simple. You won't be able to use just any strap. But you see, it gives you an idea, so I think that by buying other straps, it's possible to adapt this little system onto them. To be able to put your Aision watch on a leather strap. So the strap is of decent quality. However, a small flaw, the Ardian buckle is way too large. And I find that it lacks class and isn't very comfortable. As a result, I don't use it. But I still appreciate the gesture. Thank you, Thomas, for thinking of including this leather strap. So Thomas is the founder of the brand Aision. He's a very approachable and friendly person. Don't hesitate to contact him if you like one of his models. So, usually, when Kickstarter projects are successfully delivered, the packaging is quite basic, if not non-existent, especially compared to watches. Yema device that I backed and which came in a small travel case, rather well finished. The other watches I have bought on Kickstarter, generally, the packaging was absolutely terrible. However, this Aision Tourbillon watch was delivered in a beautiful black case, emblazoned with the Aision logo. For me, this shows two things. It shows that it is possible to release a decent product, properly manufactured, machined and correctly packaged without having to spend thousands of euros. Secondly, it shows the involvement of the development team. And for me, that matters a lot, because it proves that the team creating the watch and the product is doing everything they can to offer something they themselves would be proud to buy. They are not just looking to make money. So once again, thank you, Thomas. I think it's really a very nice packaging for a watch in this price range. The box is quite high quality, with several materials used: plastic, cardboard, suede. Inside, there is a presentation slot to place the watch and the warranty card. Underneath the warranty card, you will find a space where you can store the second strap. The second leather strap, which was provided by Aision, and a tool for removing the steel strap. So I also found that really nice. The gesture of giving this little tool for removing the steel strap, because often brands don't think about it. And it's always a huge hassle to change your strap for someone who isn't equipped. As a result, they will be able to remove the links to adjust the steel strap to their wrist. So honestly, very beautiful. Packaging, nice little touch. Even if it costs $3, that's not the point. It's still a symbolic gesture. I think it's not bad. Honestly, I'm just missing a little microfiber next time, Thomas. You can add a little microfiber for $3, also with your logo. Then it would be the ultimate. It would be tip-top. Now, regarding the price of this Aision Tourbillon, priced at €650 on Kickstarter, I was lucky to be one of the first backers. You should know that there were barely 35 backers for this project. It's really a shame because honestly the watch is amazing. It's the best watch I've had from Kickstarter. In every aspect, the machining, the finish, the research, the dial, the machining of the case, in everything you want, it's truly the best I've been able to get on Kickstarter. And honestly, I wouldn't have been ashamed to buy this in a store. I'm telling you honestly, this watch is really top-notch. So, it's a watch limited to 100 pieces, which was sold at €650 each. Not all the pieces were sold, which is a bit unfortunate for Thomas, but well, it's not a big deal. I think he'll manage to sell more, especially since he has launched other campaigns, new campaigns. Don't hesitate to go follow them. It's a brand that offers original, quality watches. However, the communication and marketing, they are absolutely terrible. But really, absolutely terrible. This is a watch. I ordered it at the beginning of 2021. At the beginning of 2021, I received it in August, with barely 2 or 3 messages in between. I might as well tell you that during that time, I even thought it was a scam, and that I would never get it. On the Asian Design website, it is now possible to buy the remaining models out of the 100. There must be a few left, and the price is around €1,300. And even at €1,300, I'll tell you frankly, I think it's worth it. It's worth it. It's a very, very beautiful piece. Watchmaking. Until now, no watch with a tourbillon is available on the second-hand market. I still looked out of curiosity. And frankly, there's little chance of finding them on second-hand watch sales sites. When you participate in a Kickstarter project, there's always the anxiety of never receiving the watch, or that it doesn't match the photos, more or less photoshopped, highlighted during the funding campaign. This anxiety is further amplified by the lack of communication and updates. For me, it took almost a year for this limited edition to come to life, and for me to be able to wear it on my wrist. A year is very, very long. However, what a joy during the unboxing. Honestly, it was worth the wait. The Aision Tourbillon is sublime. The dial uses an original and unique pattern that plays with light in an extraordinary way. The case and its bezel are very sporty chic. The machining is very meticulous. And the Chinese tourbillon, even though it's Chinese, honestly, it's mesmerizing. I can spend hours watching it. As an added bonus, it's a manual winding watch. And I am very fond of them, manual winding calibers more than automatic calibers. So, there you have it, the well-designed integrated bracelet does not compromise wearing comfort at all, even if it is a bit heavy. It enhances the sport chic touch, which is in vogue at the moment, as is the case with the AP-WAC, or other Rolex models from the professional range. So, it's not necessarily the most expensive timepiece I own, but it is certainly one of the most original, most atypical, most beautiful and rarest. To conclude, I would just say one thing, which is that if I had to follow this project again, I think I would get 2. One in gunmetal, like the one I'm presenting to you today, and one in blue because in blue it must be very, very nice as well. I hope you enjoyed this review. Remember to subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so, it's important. Subscribe. And of course, give a thumbs up if you liked the video. Give a thumbs down if you didn't like the video. Feel free to comment on what you think of this little Asian design. Do you own any tourbillons? If so, which brand? It will be a great opportunity to discuss this topic. And of course, you can find us on our website www.moonwatch.fr and on social media, Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. With that, I say see you soon, friends. Bye.